Hi there, welcome to Kneppyinvests and welcome to Friday, the 14th of November, 2025. It is 2:43 p.m., so about an hour and 27 minutes left of trading today. On a fairly quiet day in terms of announcements. I really had to dig deep to find 5 companies to be in the top 5. However, not a quiet day in terms of our market. Led by Wall Street, down a fair bit overnight for no significant reason. We have seen a little bit of weakness, well, maybe not a little bit, fair bit of weakness in our market. And it seems like it's across the board, including tech. Looks like it's on a free fall right now. And mining down as well, small caps down, everything is down, maybe apart from, I did read oil was up, so maybe oil is up. Energy, maybe energy is up. We'll have a look at that in a second. Okay, so the agenda for today's video, we'll go through the ASX today, have a look at the best and worst performing sectors, indices, and companies. I might do a chart of the day first because the XJO is at an important level, so we'll do that. And then last of all, we'll go through the top 5 stocks of the day. Not much to choose from. Here is the list of announcements. Only 71 price-sensitive announcements, and some of these were just BS announcements, like JP Morgan Global Equity Premium Income Complex ETF doing a distribution notice. Don't care about that sort of thing. A few AGMs still going on. For instance, Australian Bond Exchange, shares addressed to shareholders, don't really care about that. So yeah, quite a few announcements here that I have had zero interest in. A few training holds. For instance, EtherStack, capital raising, exactly what they should be doing. AirTasker also trading hot. I wonder if they're doing a capital raising. Let's have a look. Share price had been a bit of a, capital raising by way of a placement. That's exactly what companies should do when the share price has gone on a bit of a run. Do a capital raising if you need it, if you need it, or if they need it. Okay, so have come up with the top 5 at least. Really stretched what I usually look for, but I do have a top 5 stocks of the day. And I think at least one of these companies did not release an announcement today. The share price was down a fair bit, however. Okay, so let's get into the ASX today. And yeah, Wall Street overnight. We had NASDAQ down 2%, was it? Dow Jones 1.65%. And S&P 500 down 1 point. If you have a look at the Dow Jones, nothing to be, it went to a record high yesterday. So this is nothing to be concerned about for the Dow Jones Industrial. Even for the NASDAQ, nothing to be concerned about. It's still in a well-defined uptrend. But if we turn our attention to the XJO, it's starting to look a little bit weaker. Nothing like the XTX, the All-Tech, which is just free-falling right now. And let's have a look at the XJO, which is the chart of the day. I'll talk about the XJO in Sunday's technical update video. So there is an important level about 8,600. It took a while to get above that level. It reached that level in February, then we had that big fall, and then once it got back up to 8,600, it took from the 11th of June to 17th of July. So it took over a month to get above that level. It hit that level a few times. 1, almost 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So on the 13th try, it finally got above 8,600. In fact, you can see that on the 18th of July, beautiful green candlestick. On that particular day, XJO rose 1.37%. And then went sideways, but remained above 8,600. And then the new level we want to see get above is 9,100. And it got to that level not that long ago, a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So it's right on 8,600 or just above that level right now. We have seen a little bit of buying coming in today, not a lot, but the current XJO is at 8,641, so just above that important level. And we have seen a little bit of buying today. We have seen a little bit of rallying, so the low was reached almost on open. So I'm not going to say that was panic selling or anything like that, but a lot of investors would have known this was going to be a bad day, and sometimes they just sell en masse and open. So we have seen a little bit of rally during the day, but not much, but it's there, subtly there. So that's, I suppose, good news right now, but we'll have to wait and see until next week whether this level remains intact. So I actually do have the line, the support level at 8,630. So we're just above that. Well, the XJO is just above that. So not overly negative right now. Now, the XJO did get below the previous lows, which was about 8,740. So hasn't gone below those lows, which was a nice little support level. And in fact, it did that today. And in the last 2 weeks, we did see some buying coming in once the XJO got below that level for a brief period of time. And hopefully you can see why that level was support, because it took a little bit of time to get through it, and then it's tested it a few times. So not as bullish as some of the other indices. Even, the Wall Street, the American indices actually look way better than this one, but looks much better than the XTX, which is ew. By the way, New Zealand, where's my New Zealand? There it is, NZ50. I was looking for the NZ. New Zealand's looking pretty good. Okay, but I'll talk about these indices in Sunday's technical update video. But now back to the ASX today. So we have seen selling across the board, a broad sell-off, you might say. Nothing really has rallied during the day. And there is one sector up, and that is energy. And I do remember reading that oil was up 2%. And where did I read that? I think it was Trading Economics. Here we go. Oil rises over 2%. There you go. Gold set for best week in 4. So maybe gold's had a really good day as well. Let's have a look-see. No, gold's down 2.5%. Okay, there you go. So really, energy, IT down 4.42%. Another bad day. Financials looks like more weakness in the banks. Yep, down 1.66%. And mining as well. A few indices not down as much. Utilities, staples, energy, all down or up for energy by less than 0.5%. So all those three sectors not as bad as the other ones. And that makes sense. Utilities and staples, if you ask me what type of companies are in utilities and staples, I would say defensive companies. So there's been a little bit of a, wouldn't say rush to defensive, but I could see that happening today. All right, well, let's have a look at the ASX 20, down 1.27%. And again, maybe a bit of a rush, a bit of a movement of funds from more risky assets like tech into some of the more perceived safer assets like ASX 20 companies. I still think most of these are down. I would assume Woodside's up, maybe Woolworths is up. So I'm going to say 3 or 4 companies are up. 3 companies are up, and those 3 companies are Woodside, Woolworths, and CSL. Wesfarmers, not surprising, they're only down slightly. Telstra I would define as defensive, so that's only down 0.3%. So no surprise there. Worst performing companies I didn't mean to click on Woodside. The worst performing companies today on the ASX, we have Aristocrat, Macquarie, Northern Star, Sigma, and ANZ, which went ex-dividend yesterday. So this is more selling just because they got the dividend, which is insane to me. I sort of understand. It's dividend seekers. They use these investments to fund their lifestyle, but they're losing money by doing that. If you sell your stock at a greater amount than the dividend you get, your capital is being eroded slowly. Okay. That's really all I want to talk about. This might be a really quick video. So let's get to the top 5 stocks of the day. I tried to understand why Wall Street went down overnight. I got no clarification. In fact, even a lot of the emails were saying, wow, we don't really know. This is a possible explanation. So who knows? I did read one site that did say we went down yesterday because higher than expected or better than expected employment numbers. And I did read that somewhere that there is now less likely of an interest rate cut, which just makes me intrigued to why people would sell because of that. Because there's a good scenario, a logical scenario that if the Reserve Banks don't decrease interest rates is because the economy is humming along, which is actually good for the stock market. It's not bad. Anyway, Nova Minerals is one company I'm going to talk about in the top 5. This is me just searching for them. In fact, you've got 2 of the companies in my top 5 in my recent search list. Okay, so let's start off with TPG. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? No, not the top 5. I completely forgot. Completely forgot to do the best and worst performing companies. There you go. You're more likely to make a mistake when things are quiet. So top gainers today. TMK Energy says it's an ETF. It's not an ETF. It looks like they might be doing a, based off this, they're doing a share consolidation. TMK. Let's have a look. Yep, consolidation. There you go. Share price up 31.82%. Consolidation that completed yesterday, and no news flow, so we can move on, I think. Other than that, nothing much here. Oliver's Real Food did release a trading update. Fairly low turnover. I'm not going to discuss that one. I've briefly gone into an Oliver's Real Food restaurant or store and quickly got out. Not the sort of food for me. Yeah, you might be saying, don't you eat real food? No. Well, I do eat real food, but when I'm traveling, I need to eat. I prefer non-real food. It's just me. Just me. But there's nothing really here of note. Any reason why some of these companies' share price has rallied, has rallied a fair bit. Lake Resources, lithium, maybe a bit of positive vibes in lithium, which I would not be against. Top gainers by market cap. Core lithium up 5.26%. Webjet down a lot yesterday. Nice little rally today because people go, oh, my share price has dropped a lot. Now this is good value. That is the wrong mentality. Now, if the share price keeps on rallying, that will be a sign that, hey, the market did overreact, but this could be just a bit of a dead cat bounce. And history shows us that's more than likely what's happening with that company. Beta shares, strong bear, B-Bus up 4.24%. No surprise there. Now, I would never, ever, 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 ever own these sort of things, even for hedging, because it goes down through time. It goes down through time. So you need to time this perfectly well. This is B-Bus through time. It just keeps on going down. Now, if I could short this, I probably would. Anyway, it's just a short-term movement. That's the only. This is the sort of thing you don't own for the long term. You just own it for a very short period of time, maybe to hedge. I heard some people use this to hedge for the long term. I was like, why would you do that? I don't understand that. Because over time it goes down, which makes sense. The markets go up over time. This is reverse of the markets, so it should go down over time. Okay, so nothing really to talk about there. Emeco Holdings. I'm going to briefly discuss this one because I have a feeling this chart looks pretty good. Emeco Holdings. And it's not a bad looking chart. There was a nice little breakout on the 22nd of August. I do remember that. And you can see the share price went sideways for a while after that. That's a pretty good sign. I like that chart. I wish I was following a little bit more closely. Share price popped up on the 15th September. We did see a bit of a pullback, and now the share price probably moving back into an uptrend. So nice looking chart for Emeco. Now onto the top losers. And I don't think there's going to be much. Well, Zoono, I'll be talking about that. TPG, I'll be talking about that. Neither company really released anything. In fact, TPG Telecom is down for a non-nefarious reason. Even Zoono Group is not really down for nefarious reasons, but I really got to find something to talk about. Nova Minerals also down. Talk about that company. They did not release anything. Integrated Research is my stock of the day. Share price down 15.3%. Not a good day to release a negative trading update, which is exactly what they did. Was trading that about a year ago. Got out because the chart started to look pretty good, or look pretty bad. But I'll talk about that company in a second. And top losers by market cap. So a lot of tech companies here. Hub24. Life360 down again. Share price of this one just keeps on dropping like a rock. So Life360. Let's have a look at Life360 USA. It's almost identical. Not quite. Our Life360 shows that it is dual listed. You can still see gaps ups and gaps down. That's a sign that it's dual listed. The time to get out of this one was on 11th of November when the share price dropped a fair bit on that day from the high. only 5.22%, but that was sort of a negative day for Life360. What else? Codan, share price had been on a rally. Megaport for a long time. Megaport down. No surprise, these share price of these down. Alkane Resources did release results. There you go. So this one, I'll talk about this one now. Alkane Resources did release results. There we go. So this was last night, and I had no reason to really go over these results all that much. Didn't see anything significantly wrong with it. What little I did read, but the market doesn't like it. Market doesn't like it. Share price down 7%. It probably has not been helped by weakness in the gold price or gold companies today. And this is their chart. Nothing to be concerned about this chart just yet. The share price dropped below about 90, say 92, 90 cents. That would be a little bit concerning. Anyway, so I was going to talk about that a little bit more, but no. Weebit Nano, yeah, we sort of understand why that's down. Sort of I wouldn't say it's not pre-revenue anymore. They do have revenue coming in, but market cap is approaching $1 billion for a company with little revenue. So it's more of a long-term thing. Crypto is, what happened to Bitcoin? Let's have a look. If I can find it here. Oh, Bitcoin is below $100,000. There you go. So that shows you why. The Beta Shares Crypto Innovators ETF is down a fair bit. At Stealth Group, finally doing a bit of a dip. Finally dipping. I want to dip a little bit more. Hawk High. And this is top loser by market cap. Okay, so now we can go to the top 5 stocks of the day, starting off with TPG. And this was one of the worst performing companies today, down 31%. And I had an inkling that maybe they're doing a capital return because they did sell off something to someone, and this makes sense because I did not see any announcements from the company. And when I say announcements, I mean price-sensitive announcements, and that is true. And straight away, return of capital update released yesterday, 2 days ago. So return of capital, I'm not the biggest fan of return of capitals, I'll be honest with you. But I sort of understand why some companies might do it if they have no ideas, if they have a high return invested capital. If they have no ideas, they can't really get any return from it. It can be at times a good capital allocation decision, whether this is or not. I probably would err on the side of, it's probably a good decision by the company and the shareholders. They did get approval from the shareholders. So returning approximately $3 billion. So around about $1.60, we'll say. Between $1.50, $1.60. Says $1.61, $1.52 capital reduction, and 9-cent unfranked special dividend. Okay, so let's see what the share price is down. So it's down at $1.73. So the share price is down a little bit more than the capital return. Okay, so whenever I'm holding a company and they do this sort of capital return, which hasn't happened all that often, maybe twice, I actually don't like it. I don't like it because you get this money, but then the share price goes down. It's not free money. So you just have extra money in your account now, and then you have to decide what to do with that money. So again, it's a capital allocation decision. It's like all dividends. Dividends aren't free. Share price drops by the dividend amount, sometimes even more, sometimes a little bit less, but it's not free money. And then you have to decide what to do with that money, which is okay. I don't mind that. But if the company's management is truly good at capital allocation, then they should not provide any sort of return of capital or dividends to shareholders, which is why Berkshire Hathaway has not ever declared a capital return or a dividend to their shareholders, because Warren Buffett and co. are much better capital allocators than shareholders. That's the way it should be. Anyway, so TPG Telecom down 31% on the back of that. And yes, if this was a more busy day with better announcements, I would not have talked about this one. Now, saying all that, the share price or the chart looked pretty good for TPG until this. So maybe some of this movement was because capital return. Now, you can adjust. They haven't adjusted. You can adjust for dividends, but looks like TradingView has not adjusted it. Not adjusted it just yet, but I will adjust. So not concerned about this big drop. It's not a trend killer event or anything like that. But didn't have much to choose from today. Okay, coming in at number 4. Again, nothing much to choose from. So I chose a company whose share price was down a fair bit. I had a quick look at Nova Minerals, share price down 17.6%. I had a look. First thing I did when I opened up this ComSec page was have a look at the trade history. And I was like, wow, the volatility in this since September has been extreme. Day traders have been loving this. I could almost guarantee you. How many days has the share price dropped or risen by double digits? So 29th, 30th, 1st of October, 2nd of October, 3rd of October. Then the 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, missed out on the 20th, but then again, 21st, 22nd, then a bit of a gap. And then we've seen 31st, 4th of November, 10th of November rose 33%. And then yesterday it rose 14.6%, now down 17.6%. Oh, this has been a trading or a day trading dream. Okay, so what does Nova Minerals do? That is the question I had for myself. Why has there been a lot of excitement about this company? In fact, I'll show you the chart first, because the second thing I looked at was a chart. And you can see a massive amount of volatility here. It's not a clean rise and clean drop. It's just all over the shop. Nice increase in volume, really peaked in middle October. Volume has started to go down a little bit, but not a lot. Share price really broke out, middle of September. And so what has led to this excitement in Nova Minerals? By the way, the market cap of this company is about 500, 600 million, $520 million. They did release one announcement that made me a little bit more interested in Nova. And that announcement was Nova commences procurement of mining and processing equipment. For me, that means this company is preparing to mine. First thing I thought of when I saw that announcement was that they did release a presentation on October the 23rd, AGM presentation on the 10th of November. So they have been releasing a lot of presentations. I actually did have a look at their Appendix 4C or 5BME just to see, what this company does. And it's a critical mineral. And they're getting money from the American government. Was it $50 million or something like that to start an antimony mine, antimony gold maybe, in Alaska, and so they're starting that process of maybe developing a tier 1 gold asset and securing US domestic antimony supply. There you go. It looks like they are dual listed. So $43.4 million US Department of War award support. My only concern about these sort of situations is how much is this company going to benefit from that? And this is a government thing, and government can do weird things at times, any government in the world. So I don't like companies who are reliant on a government. And maybe, I wouldn't say this company is reliant on the government, but who knows what's going to happen in the future. Antimony spot price going bananas recently, which is understandable, and fast-tracking production to develop the US's first fully domestic integrated antimony supply chain. Do I say antimony right? I have no idea. Wasn't that long ago I never heard of this as this sort of mineral. So it's suddenly come into my, what's that word? My knowledge base, probably a year, 2 years ago. Anyway, so that's Nova Minerals. And I'm not sure exactly when they're going to start production, but they're moving in that direction. Here we go, phase 1 antimony assets. So looks like they have to build an access road, appoint leading antimony expert, plant design and flow sheet, establish antimony mine and process equipment procurement. They've done that. Commence mining, construction, commissioning. Full-scale phase 1 production targeted late 2026, 2027. So we're talking about 1 year from now. And again, I'd say I would like to be more conservative, so I'd say more than likely 2027. Anyway, so for me, this is a no-go just because of the massive amount of volatility in this one. So Nova Minerals, antimony and gold. Okay, now coming in at number 3, we have Zoono. Now, I mentioned Zoono not long ago because the share price went bonkers. And now the share price is down 37.42%. They did release a price query this morning. This price query was because the share price had gone bonkers, absolutely bonkers. They mentioned here share price of this company went from a low of 6.6 to a high of 17 cents. So it's tripled in like a month. And there was a significant increase in volume as well. Now, sometimes I don't mind when a company really explores answering question 3. In fact, I like it when they answer question 3 to the just let their imagination go wild. I hate it when companies go just no, like no, not applicable, no. But they have written a fair bit here. So they were not aware of any explanation for the recent trading in securities other than significant interest, including media interest, in the company's recent announced exclusive South African packaging agreement with Impact Operations. They also mentioned there was another deal and they went into a trading halt because of that deal. And then they announced this deal at the same time. They are currently conducting 50 trials across 4 continents on fruit, vegetables, meat, fish, poultry, bread, ready-made meals, and fresh flour. So this company does antibacterial wipes and stuff other than wipes, I suppose. Let me have a look at what they say in their about section. If they have an about section, they don't. So this company really benefited from COVID-19 because everyone bought their wipes. And then because everyone bought way more wipes than needed, there was no more buying of their wipes. And in fact, you can see the receipts and revenue of this company just nosedive all of a sudden. Maybe not all of a sudden, but anyway, so they've struggled over the last few years with a lack of revenue. And if we have a look at their about section, they call themselves a global biotech company, develops, manufactures, distributes a suite of scientifically validated, long-lasting, environmentally friendly antimicrobial solutions. I just think of wipes. Sprays, wipes, foams, skincare, service sanitizers, and mold. So it looks like they're sort of diversifying into other areas, dealing with food, that sort of thing. That's interesting. Anyway, so share price had been going bonkers recently. We had 4 out of 5 days where the share price had rose by more than 20%, one day by 63, another day by 37%. This was primed to drop a lot, and it's done it today. Down 37.42%, has dropped below 10 cents. Share price got as high as 17.5 cents yesterday after opening at 9.8. So there you go. And if you have a look at the chart for this one, this is another case of a bit of silliness in the market, maybe. This is actually really interesting because this chart right now looks fairly similar than what it did in May. Look at this chart here, particularly the 2-day candlestick. So share price on one day rallied 67% and then the next day dropped 23%. And then the share price just kept on falling after that, after a nice little rally. And compare that to what's happening now. Share price yesterday rose 63%, or Wednesday, because they weren't trading yesterday, and today down 38.7% and looks fairly similar to what we saw in May. So let's see if the share price keeps on dropping after this. If it doesn't, if we see the share price starting to maybe rally, a little bit more volume coming in, consider drop in volume back in May. But if we start to see a little bit more interest in the market than what we saw 6 months ago, this could be a good sign of a breakout for Zoono, although I'm not, I probably prefer a little bit of financial proof the company is benefiting from all these deals. So you might have to wait a little bit because if you have a look at the most recent Appendix, nothing much happening with this company just now. And how much are they going to benefit from these deals? Maybe very little. So $241,000 of receipts, which is, I think, a 5-year low. So that's, coming in number 3, Wagners. I was very close to trading this about a year ago, and I went, nah, I'll just keep on. And they just ran away from me. They had their AGM, also trading update. I found some good vibes in this one. By the way, when the share price rises 2.39% on this sort of day, it's a good day. It's a good day. Just being positive. Highlights, positive financial year 26 outlooks, reflected by continuous strength in demand for products, including, by the way, this is concrete, that sort of thing. They call themselves diversified Australian construction materials and services provider and producer of innovative building materials and technologies. So I just think of concrete and the new type of concrete, which I can't think of right now. And here we go. New generation building materials, producer of cement, concrete, aggregates, new generation composites. Yeah, they do have some sort of new concrete that is environmentally friendly, I like to think. Anyway, so trading update. Here we go. They also released some guidance. and the market does like it. Some nice growth in this company. So, for instance, forecasting first half EBIT between 30 and 31, nice 50% increase from financial year 25, and full-year EBIT of 52 to 56, a nice increase from 41.8. Looks like a little bit of slower growth in the second half, and they do mention that. Takes into account lower volumes anticipated in January due to the holiday period. There you go. Increases in clinker and shipping costs impacting margin. So maybe the second half of the year not performing as well, but maybe they're being a little bit too conservative. Maybe. Anyway, this chart looks brilliant. This is a really good chart. And I can tell you exactly when I was thinking of buying this, because the share price was below $1. So here it is. Share price was below $1, and the share price just took off in October, so just over a year ago. Share price just took off, and I thought, oh, maybe I'm just too late to the party, but beautiful, beautiful trend developing after that. We've had a few dips that I could have bought, but I didn't, and now the share price is triple what it was when I first thought of buying it. Okay, there's a lot of opportunities in the market. You're not going to get every single opportunity. So that's Wagners coming in number 2, and stock of the day is a company I did trade and got out, I wouldn't say fairly quickly, but I'll show you that in a second. This is Integrated Research. This was, I wouldn't say a market darling, about 10 years ago. We'll have a look. But I'm pretty sure this was highly thought of, don't think they're a SaaS company, but a tech company. Trading update today. Now, the share price has been a bit of a funk, and I thought, yeah, more than likely it's going to be negative. And yes, it's negative. It's negative. First half, financial year 26 guidance, total contract value down 4%, statutory revenue down 4%, and EBITDA from positive 4.6 million to negative 3 to 8 million, down 220%. Everything, just nothing's happening with this company. They're just not doing anything. They did mention, here we go, increased allowance for expected credit losses, investment in new products, and softer renewals result in anticipated EBITDA loss. So a few things you don't want to see there, particularly softer renewals. You want to see stronger renewals. Anyway, so unfortunately for Integrated Research, another negative announcement from this company. It hasn't helped that they released this on a negative day. And it's getting to the point, or the price, where I initially bought in, like a year and a half ago, maybe. So I would have bought, yes, I bought, well, yeah, 18 months ago. In fact, I still remember this. So, yeah, share price was between 30, I can't remember exactly how much I bought. I think I bought on a breakout on the 1st of March or the 2nd of March. So it would have been about 38 cents. And then all of a sudden, they released something positive on the 9th of May. Share price went up 53%. Share price went on a rally. And then there was a Trinketer event on the 20th of August, down 14.47. That was an automatic sell for me. And the share price has just continued to go lower. And now we're back at 30 cents. Pretty big volume coming through today as well. So Integrated Research, no good. No good. If you have a look at the weekly chart, so yeah, the share price got as high as about $5 back in 2020. And before that, the chart looked brilliant. Nice looking chart. So this company has fallen from grace over the last 5 years. Okay, so that's it for today. If you have any questions, any thoughts, leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.